Okay, so this video is for the JW organization. I saw your leaked video about Paradise, and to be honest, it's kind of boring, right? It's the same monotony, guys. You guys got to step it up, right? So I got a little experience in this department, and just want to give you a few pointers, right? Okay, so, right, normally you have your videos in like grassy areas, maybe the woods. I saw one on the beach, but you guys got so many different landscapes to play with, right? How many times you gonna sit on the grass and move around in slow motion? By the way, do you guys move in real time? Everything is slow-mo, right? So you gotta get rid of slow-mo for everything, right? You can use it for some other stuff, but like for sitting around and talking and greeting resurrected ones, you ain't gotta do slow-mo, right? You could bring the audience in by using things that are more relatable, real, like moving in real time, right? So you don't got to sit on the grass all the time. Like, we can do that now. We can go to Central Park, right, New York City, and sit on the grass. You want to have a picnic? Go to Central Park, right? We could walk in the woods at Central Park. They got like a little wooded area. We can do that now, right? So you got to change up the scenery. Like, what I was thinking, right, you can open up the scene, right? It says, I don't know, Paradise, right? And then it comes in and fizzles out, right? Then the camera just like pans in. You see a dolphin, right? See a dolphin riding, like, or swimming, right? Really fast. You can do slow-mo if you want with that one, right? Swimming, right? In the water, middle of the ocean. But then the camera pans up, and you got a boy riding on the dolphin's back, holding on the fin, right? And the boy is like, it's almost like you think he's riding on a motorcycle, but the camera, oh, yeah, you could have the camera start with the boy, right? Teenager, right? Because the little boy wouldn't be riding on a motorcycle, right? And he's like this, and they're like, what the hell is he doing, right? But you can see like things moving. You can't see really a lot of things moving because he's in the water. Maybe you can see the sprinkles of the water going past, and people are like, what the hell is he doing, riding a motorcycle in the ocean, right? So he's moving, but you know he's moving fast, right? And then the camera pans down, and you see him on the back of a dolphin, right? Or even worse, like a back of a great white, and he's moving on it, but and then he turns to the camera and he smiles, right? Like, wow, this is cool, right? You gotta bring the audience in. They gotta be like, oh, did you see the last video? Boy was riding, or a teenager was riding a dolphin. He was riding a great white, you know. You could also do things like have someone jump off the side of a mountain, right, next to a waterfall. You can do that in slow-mo, but I think real time, like just like regular motion is better effect on it, you know, and then just kind of like swan dive into the water, but at the same time of hitting the water, right, which is glistening from the sun. It's a really bright sun, right? You can have like fish, right? It could be betta fish, it could be salmon, right? A mixture of both, right? Just jumping over the body. But when the body hits the water, it hits the water in slow-mo. And as it's hitting the water, the fish is jumping over the body, right? You guys gotta ante up. You gotta think about these things to bring people in. Like, people gonna sit on the grass for like a few hours. After that, it's like, what we do next, right? Crack open a bottle of vodka. Like, it's not enticing. You gotta get enticing with your videos, right? I can see like, you know, same like the dolphin, right? But except you see like a girl, her hair is blowing in the wind, right? Because it's like blonde street here, right? Because if it was a black girl, she would probably have ponytails, but you could do a black or white girl or whatever, right? And they're riding on something, and you think they're riding on a horse, right? You're like, she's on a horse. I know it. She's on a horse, because she's kind of like, you know, slumped over like this, and you got that motion going on, and it's like she's riding on a horse, right? Except it's not a horse. It's a lion, right? And she's holding on the mane of the lion, and she's slumped over, and the lion is moving in slow motion. You can do slow motion with that because it got a bigger effect. And then the lion goes to like a kind of like a Lion King mountain, you know, where the monkey in the movie holds up Simba, right? But except the girl is on the back of the lion, and the lion roars like a big roar, right? And I can just see the Jehovah's Witnesses in the assembly, like they clapping. It's like, oh, you see that, right? That's paradise, right? So, you know, you can do a lot of things. There's a lot of things to work with, right? You can have a guy, right? This is the resurrection part, right? He's sitting there, and he's just like kind of sad, yeah. But then he glances over, and it's like, you know, because he sees his resurrected wife, right? She's walking or running to him in slow motion. You can use the slow motion for that. Gives some sort of impact. Now I see why y'all use slow motion, right? It gives some sort of impact to the footage, right? So she's running towards him, and he's like, because he hasn't seen her in years, right? Because she died, he lived, I don't know, 50 more years or whatever. So he's been without her a long time. So you see him like, and then you see his face change, right? Y'all can do like a really like dramatic, like, you know, close-up pan to his face, because he's smiling, and then it changes. And it's like he looks into the camera because he forgot to tell, or actually he didn't forget because he couldn't tell because she was dead, that he remarried. Yeah, he remarried. As a matter of fact, his new wife is over there. She's picking apples. So he's like, oh, shit. Like, I got to explain to her that I have remarried, right? But it's not a big deal because you want realistic parts of the new system in your footage, right? In your movies, right? So it's like she runs up, she tries to give you a kiss in the mouth. He's like dodging her mouth because it's like, nah, I can't kiss you, you know. But then he goes into the story, you know. But he's scared to go into the story because that's the same woman that she used to accuse him of lusting after in the Kingdom Hall whenever she walked in late. He was just like that, you know, looking at her, and she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, what? And, you know, it's like, I know you want her, right? And it's like, oh, okay, now you have to explain that this is the same woman that you accuse me of always wanting. Yeah, I married her and we have 5 kids together. But, you know, she doesn't care. Because it's a new system of things, right? She's happy to be alive, right? I'm happy to be alive. Go do your thing with her. You know, there's plenty resurrected people that's about to come. I'll meet somebody else, right? So there are people that's starting to be resurrected. You know, you can keep with the realistic part of the format, right? You want to keep it realistic, right? So there's slave owners, right? There's people that's coming back that were slave owners in the 1700s when they died, right? So they come back. You could show them kind of like angrily running towards, you know, a couple of brothers who are black, right? They're like, who are you talking to? Because, you know, they're talking to